Hello and welcome to another CPL cast, Season 7, regular season week 1. Today we've got some Tier 3 action coming for you, and looks like we're doing a little CPL After Dark, as this is a cast that is not getting announced at the moment, but that's okay. If you know anybody from either of the teams that will be playing today, which we have Fear Factory versus Attitude Plus, you might want to let them know that their Tier 3 is going to go ahead and be casted here at twitch.tv/nightcat, so you might want to give them a heads up in case they want to watch it live. But hopefully the VOD will at least be able to be made available for them if they're not able to make it here live. So speaking of the matchup, we're going to have today Myriad Colors versus Peru as our leadoff match here. It's going to be a little Protoss versus Protoss action. Then we'll have Dead Infested from the Nom clan up against Thunder Dragon, a little bit of TVT. Then we'll have Shimmer from, I'm assuming, the Rev clan against Morik, which will have some Protoss versus Zerg. And then we'll finish things up with Will versus Zoggern, which will be a little ZVP. There was one walkover in this set, which went for Fear Factory, so Fear Factory is already starting off 1-0. The map order for this week was Fighting Spirit for the first game, Polaris Rhapsody for the second game, and then, if necessary, Polypoid. Since it was brought up how to say that map properly on a cast, I have been trying my best to say it the right way in my head and otherwise. So there is one thing I need to do really quick, and actually while going over the maps I can draw. We do have new overlays for the season, so we also have a little new display for the maps here. I'll go ahead and show that off before we get in the first game. Also, I forgot to turn on my streamer mode on Discord. There we go. That could have been bad. You could have been hearing Discord sounds and then thinking your own Discord was going off. So as I said, we're going to be starting off with Myriad Colors versus Peru. So let's go ahead and get into the first match, which is up on Fighting Spirit here. You know, if anything is too low volume-wise, I can go ahead and adjust the volumes here. Looks like we have Peru playing as Zertemis, spawning up, and this is not in top versus bottom, so spawning as the Black Protoss at the top right. Myriad Colors spawning as the White Protoss over on the left. And if there is much lag, they can remake, so looks like they did not have much lag with the latency set too high. Big exclusivity tonight. First time, or first one to get to use the overlays. That is correct. I had a lot of fun trying to figure out the best way to make everything look good on it. So hopefully it'll all look good. And if there are any kinks, we can go ahead and get them worked out. Starting off here, looks like we're getting in-base pylons from both of the players over toward their ramps. Sending the probe back to the mineral lines. PvP can be a lot of fun to watch, but it's interesting to see how it plays out, because there's just so many different options that Protoss has in the matchup that they can go, and some of them will work better if your opponent chooses particular options, so a lot of fun here. We do have a gateway now coming down here for Peru. No gateway yet for Myriad, so perhaps looking to do a fast expand, maybe saving the minerals for that, I'm thinking here. So might see some, I was gonna say we might see some early aggression coming out of Peru, but it looks like he is getting gas, so it's probably going to be one gate and then a core, I would imagine. The scout is now going out for Peru, and it looks like we are getting that fast expansion here for Myriad Colors. Looks like he will get scouted first by Peru, so we'll see if Peru decides to go with any sort of early aggression, seeing this fast expansion, if he's going to try and punish it at all. But given that Myriad is now getting a gateway, first zealot is coming out, so that will get out probably, or I think before that gateway's even done, so Peru might be able to come in and harass a little bit, but might not be able to do too much. A second gateway now just started for Myriad. Probe scout getting chased off. Always happens to me too. The scout gets there, it's like, all right, I found my opponent, and then just don't do anything with the scout. Now we have a scout going off here for Myriad. It looks like Peru's scout did get picked off. And both players are scouting each other first, so pretty nice there for the two players to get that. I think in all the games that I was playing today, I was getting last scout every single game. Probe able to get in and see what's going on here. Not quite getting the ramp blocked with the zealot. I believe that you can block this with a single unit if you get it placed just right on the ramp, but it can be kind of tricky to get that placement. So the second base is up for Myriad, but we don't have any mining at it just yet. We do have a couple of zealots, though, out at the front, standing guard. So Dragoon range is started, and also the robotics facility now coming down for Peru. Happy to sit on just one zealot for right now, while Myriad goes ahead and does the probe transfer over to the natural. Gonna go ahead and throw down a forge now. And get the gas as well. I'm imagining getting the forge before gas is because you're planning on maybe getting a few cannons. Or it also could just be, hey, I have the money for this now, so I'm going to throw it down. And then just whenever I have my gas, I'll go ahead and get my upgrades. So a little bit of a move out here for Myriad, the 4 zealots, and we've got 3 gates here from Peru. We do have a Dragoon. We have another one on the way, but I'm a little bit worried because that's not a lot of army with these 4 zealots coming into March here. Unfortunately, one of the zealots not able to get into the battle here, but gonna go ahead and back off. Deciding to re-engage here, getting a little bit better position. All 4 of the zealots able to get in on that Dragoon, able to take it out. And now we've got the zealots in the main. This is a little bit what I was worried about. Also got a observatory, it looks like. I thought maybe it was going to go for like a robotics support facility or something like that to get Reavers, but instead we were going for the observatory just in case there were Dark Templar, but now we've just got 4 stabby boys instead of 4 capey boys in our base. Behind us, Myriad is getting another gateway. Going ahead and getting those probes now. Dragoons trying to do what they can, but really need the micro and pull back here. Just taking the hits from these zealots. We do have 3 more, though, on the way, so trying to pull the probes to do to mitigate as much damage as we can. I think there was only 1 or 2 probe kills there, though, so a lot of lost mining time, though, having pulled all of the probes. We've got some idle probes there that are now being sent back. So all in all, not too bad there for Peru. I think did lose a lot of mining time, but didn't really lose a whole lot of probes. Is behind in the worker count currently, but I think that's mainly because Myriad went ahead and took that early expansion there. Yeah, there were some cannons produced back home in preparation of if Peru were to go for anything like Dark Templar tech, or just the counterattack that's coming in here with the 2 Dragoons, which just seeing what's up, going ahead and wisely backing off here. So let's see, we've got 4 gates here, 5 gates now from Myriad, so maybe looking to get some army pumping going here. Looks like at least one of the rally points not set. Now we have Myriad moving out here. Gonna go ahead and clean up these Dragoons.
And listen.
Choosing to fall back, though. There's only the one Dragoon that's heavily damaged. Could have cleaned that up, but now is moving out with the other Dragoon that was behind the pylon there. The army is now marching towards Peru's base, but Peru does have a nice little Dragoon army of their own back here, producing off of just 3 gates, though. So if it really came down to it, Myriad would be able to outproduce, but not really sending a whole lot over. And now, oh, these Dragoons on move order, just moving in there, taking some damage, but gonna be able to force this back. Just took a little bit of unnecessary damage there. Oh, and deciding to turn around at this one Zealot that kind of wandered a little bit too far from home. Gonna go ahead and clean that up. Now Peru moving the Dragoons down to the natural. Kind of securing that choke there. I've got Myriad going ahead and backing up as well to their bridge. They've got a few reinforcements that they could join up with this army. Going ahead and getting the +1 as well. I don't think we've seen a forge yet from Peru, but we are getting the Nexus here for the expansion. We do have our Citadel, so not sure, if we're gonna get leg speed from that. We're only producing Dragoons at this moment, so that might just be in preparation of eventually getting level 2 upgrades, or perhaps mixing in Dark Templar, which there is no observatory yet from Myriad, who is now taking his 3rd towards Peru. So we do have an engagement here, a nice arc forming for Peru. I don't think Myriad's going to be able to break this, but they are trading pretty evenly. Looks like they are going to have to back off here. Pretty nice trade there for Peru. Had that nice arc form that Myriad just wasn't quite able to break into with the numbers that they had. I was trying to unright click and right click on the Nexus. We'll follow a Nexus around and see how that goes. Now Myriad, I like that. You're going ahead, you're taking your 3rd. And then they are adding on gateways as well. We're here with the transfer of probes over to the natural to get that base up and running here. Peru's still just operating on 3 gateways. It does have a pretty nice Dragoon count here. It looks like 13 Dragoons. So looking relatively safe for now, but that +1 is going to kick in here for Myriad pretty soon. Looks like there's an attempt to transfer here, but they're not mineral walking, so they're just getting stuck up behind the army here. Not sure why, if that's maybe a misclick, to not have the mineral walk. Like Myriad is moving out again with the army. Find it interesting too that every time Myriad has poked out here and made an attempt to poke into this natural, they have gone ahead and ran all the way back to their natural instead of just posting out to keep any tabs. So both of these players really playing blind in terms of information at the moment. Neither of them really know what the other is doing or have any scouting information really on them. They're just kind of poking and seeing if they can break. But as I say that, I thought this was a probe at first on the minimap, but no, this is actually an observer. It looks like Peru is going ahead and getting some scouting information, but now we do have the move in here at the natural. Peru not quite getting the concave that they'd like, but this bridge is really helping them out, really causing some of the Dragoons to just kind of wander off into nowhere for Myriad. It looks like Myriad does have the numbers to cause some trouble here. We do have High Templar out on the field. I don't know if Storm is researched yet or not, though. I don't see it being researched, so I have to hope that it is for Peru here. These last Dragoons, they're going to fall. The Templar have the energy, but they're not up at the Dragoons fighting. Myriad entering the natural here. Just a couple of zealots trying to stop them, and no, Storm is not researched. It's just getting started now, trying to block up the ramp with an Archon morph, but that's quickly getting shot down there by Murad. And it is not looking good for Peru. Needs to pull these probes. There they go, back to the main. But this natural is going to fall. It's unfortunate to have the Templar but not have the Storm tech. Storm's really would have helped, and with that we get the GG from Peru. Murad going up 1-0. And with that, we'll move to the next game, which will be on Polaris Rhapsody. Go ahead and put that up here. All right, and for game 2, we have Murad colors spawning as the white Protoss up at the top left of Polaris Rhapsody, and we've got Peru spawning as the orange Protoss down at the bottom right of the map. So this being a 2-player map, these are the only 2 places where these players can spawn. And so it'll be interesting to see if there play changes at all with this being the 2-player map. We do have a very, very early probe coming out here for Murad colors, so perhaps being up 1-0, we will see some cheese coming out of this. Question is, will it be proxy gate? What exactly is this going to be? Because this is super early. Sitting on 7 workers now. Where is this probe going to throw down what it wants to throw down? There is this nice spot up here at the north of the base. We've got the money for a pylon. Is it going to go down? There it is, the pylon. So we've got an in-base proxy of some sort. The question is now, what will it be? Will it be cannons with a forge? Will it be gateways in the base? This is pretty exciting. This is what everybody loves to see out of tier 3, right? And unfortunately, Peru does not see the proxy, so unaware, the scout did not go past it. Just checking, yeah, the scout did not see this little region here, and we do have a gateway coming down, so we are going to be seeing those zealots come out in the base. Should see, I think, a second gateway come down, maybe. Yep, now Peru is going to have this gateway for longer. So going to be able to get a zealot out first if they want, but with the build that they're going, I don't know if they are going to get one. Okay, they are getting one, so they will at least have a defender. But Peru could just kind of sit back here until they get like 3 or 4 and then just march down. But Peru taking out probes at home, sees that there's nothing here and just sets the worker to attack probes, and Murad not seeing this, not responding. The worker count is falling, so not going to be able to pump those zealots as hard. I like the counterplay. Murad even coming home to build another pylon. Going ahead and canceling it, perhaps because of losing these probes. But still not doing anything about it. Meanwhile, we do have a zealot out. It is now seen. Peru knows what is going on here. Gonna go ahead and engage, but now there's a second zealot out. Looks like the rally point is here. So that zealot is going to fall, but meanwhile, okay, the probe in the main did go ahead and get cleaned up. So now Murad's gonna be able to wreak some havoc here, trying to take out the pylon. Nice move there to unpower those. If you can get this gateway unpowered, that is going to be very bad news for Peru. But the probe's able to take out those zealots, and Murad doesn't have much of an economy. Only 7 workers, 6 of which are back home. Can't pump any more zealots. Does have 1 on the way, but that's it. That scout probe for Peru, really the hero of this game so far. Peru going ahead and just continuing with their build. I don't know if they know that these gates are in their base yet or not. Gonna have to deal with this Zealot. Looks like Myriad is being able to produce some more Zealots though, but at a pretty slow rate. Mad Zealot's not gonna be not gonna last too much longer there. Now we do have another Zealot out. Gonna go ahead and try and again unpower the building here. But really, there's not much that you can produce out of a robotics facility. So I don't know, you know, I mean, I guess if you dive in for the deep pylon, you're probably just gonna get picked off by the probes again. So just kind of going for the damage that you can do here. Does get that down. Their robotics facility is now unpowered, but only really could produce shuttles from it for the moment until some other structure is made. Now we do have 4 Zealots out, 4 Myriad. So Myriad might be able to pull this off here despite losing all those workers. Peru not cleaning up those gates, just causing them a lot of issue here. Trying to get cannons now. And trying to pull probes to protect, but just not quite able to do so. Now these Zealots just having their probe breakfast, it looks like here. And with that, Peru will give the GG. Unfortunately, that hero probe just not able to take out enough workers or Myriad could notice, so that will be 2-0 for this match, bringing Fear Factory to 2-0 in the set. Up next, we're going to have a little TVT action here with Dead Infested up against Thunder Dragon. Let's go ahead and get that replay loaded. Hold on one second. Let me double check that I've got the right replay here. What's this? Yep, this is game 1. So these are not on the right maps, though. But it's what I was given to cast, so we'll go ahead and do it. Perhaps the players accidentally used the wrong maps here. Because our game 1 has us on Polypoid. Which is basically like the newer fighting spirit, essentially. So on Polypoid, we've got Thunder Dragon spawning as the yellow Terran up at the top right of the map here, and we've got Dead Infested spawning as the teal Terran down at the bottom right. That's right, not left. Zoom out just a little bit here. So TVT can be pretty interesting at the lower levels. You can see games play out rather standard, or you can just see some huge craziness. So I'm excited to see how these two will try and play it, if we'll see any early aggression, or if the players will just be aiming to sort of split the map, or what their approach will be here. Yeah, I think so. So Dead Infested with DEAD. This is you with DED, correct? In the chat. So who's on which team? So we have, oops, I have the wrong match text up. Sorry about that there. So Dead Infested is on Fear Factory, and Thunder Dragon is on Attitude Plus. So far, everything is looking pretty standard here. We're getting in-base barracks, so no barracks cheese going on here. Couldn't fit the A. Oh, gotcha. So, I guess my question, Dead Infested, is I've noticed that these are not the right maps for week 1. Did you and Thunder Dragon play on different maps for a reason or something? Or we have looks like Dead Infested, unless they do a oh, you didn't know. Okay. It's all good. It just threw me for a loop because I loaded this up and I'm like, wait, this isn't this isn't the map I was expecting. But like I said before, Polypoid is kind of like the newer Fighting Spirit in my eyes, so it's almost like you're playing the same map. So here, Dead Infested does get scouted out by Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon's gonna go ahead and check the natural as well, and then go ahead and scoot back out here. Dead Infested did scout the bottom left, not moving the scout to the next location just yet. And I like what Thunder Dragon's doing here, just kind of trying to park this SCV outside of the natural, so that way whenever Dead Infested does move either to, say, take the natural or, you know, moves out with any kind of army, they're going to get some quick information there on what exactly is moving out. And now we do have the factory down for both players. It looks like Dead Infested here with the 3 Marines getting their factory a little bit later than Thunder Dragon with the 1 Marine. And Thunder Dragon, so yes, this looks like it is a 1 factory expand, but we do have 2 factories coming down for Dead Infested, so it looks like we will be seeing perhaps 2 factory Vulture. We'll just have to see what comes out of this here. Keeping an eye on the production, and there we do have the Vulture started, the first one. We do have the barracks floating down here for Thunder Dragon to also help keep an eye on what is going on inside of the base of the Dead Infested. It looks like we are getting 3 factories here, so we're getting 3 factory Vulture, it looks like. And a little check here from Thunder Dragon to see, is this being taken, or am I seeing some sort of 1 base? So Thunder Dragon might be suspecting that they are getting some sort of 1 base play here. Going ahead and adding the machine shop after the 2nd Vulture. Machine shop coming down here for Dead Infested as well. So I see a question in the chat. What does CPL stand for? CPL stands for Coach-Pupil League. So it is a league for lower level players where we get together essentially in teams that have much higher level coaches to help everybody just improve the game of StarCraft, or their game at StarCraft, I guess you could say. So it's a lot of fun. It's my first season in. I was originally going to just play and not do any casting on my first season, but you know, I saw the calls for help come out from the casters of CPL, and so I figured I'd toss my hat in the ring here and help get some of these games casted. Now the scout from Thunder Dragon does see the 3 Marines come out and get taken out here. Gonna go ahead and chase that barracks off, which is gonna try and find a place where it can perch and not get attacked, but still kind of keep an eye open on things. There's a decent Vulture count here for Dead Infested, but really off of 2 factories, Thunder Dragon has been able to keep up. Oh, there we go, and has the same number of Vultures for right now, but Dead Infested has 3 more that are going to be coming behind. So while this fight is going to initially look good for Thunder Dragon, the reinforcements, if we gather for them, yeah, this might be tough for Thunder Dragon to hold. It really depends on reinforcements and micro and how all of that is going to go. But I am liking how this is looking for Thunder Dragon, able to keep up that Vulture production to really keep tabs. It looks like Dead Infested is going for mines. I'm not sure if they got speed. Okay, yeah, those Vultures are moving pretty fast. So yeah, they did get speed, so now they're going ahead and getting mines. And it looks like Dead Infested getting that targeting down in the fight here, taking out a couple of Vultures already. I think that's 3 now fallen. It's like Dead Infested getting some nice targeting in there, and there is a bit of an SCV pull, but pulling the SCVs while pulling the army back, so just giving up a few free workers there. And then Dead Infested with gonna go ahead and lay the mines down. This Marine might trigger them. A little bit worried about that. Does pull them up, but it only takes out the Marine, so lucky for Thunder Dragon there that that mine did not crash into the Vultures. And behind this here, Dead Infested still producing those Vultures, but has some nice scouts here that could be there for a little while until Thunder Dragon transitions into something that'll trigger them or goes ahead and gets scan. Worker count for Dead Infested is pretty low as well. They have been on just one base to produce workers, so you are going to see a little bit of behind here, and it looks like we'll have some Vulture wars going on. A few of these Vultures staying behind, perhaps to slow down the Vulture push of Dead Infested. Gonna go ahead and pull that last one back though, but unfortunately gets caught. Thunder Dragon's speed is not yet finished, so Dead Infesteds are faster. But coming in here with the 3, there's already 5 sitting there, so not going to be able to push that with that Vulture group. This barracks, fortunately, looks like it's going to go down. It is not going to be able to run home. These Marines, they must be on hold position because they're just stopped there. Although, I don't know how many times I've had Marines on attack on a unit, and then they just stand there and don't follow it. Hey, Set Zero. It's all good. I asked people in the audience to let the teams know that their games were going to be cast if they could, if they knew anybody on the teams. So it looks like here Thunder Dragon, now with speed done with their Vultures, is feeling pretty brave and coming out here. Gonna go ahead and lay some mines down. Doesn't want to poke in, just wants those mines for that scouting information. Gonna be able to keep tabs on when Dead Infested leaves the base or not. Looks like this tank took some damage from the mines up here. We missed that, but actually, I was about to say, managed to save the barracks, but then pulled away while it's still burning down. So that, I wonder if that's going to be an issue later for Thunder Dragon here. Go ahead and chasing down the SCV that was repairing. That's a large number of Vultures, but we do have this tank now down. So the Vultures being forced to back off here. Thunder Dragon, I think, needs to transition from the Vultures. We do have a starport, and it looks like we do have a Wraith down now. But we'll see what this Wraith is able to do. Thunder Dragon, I don't think, has an armory. Gonna go ahead and start working on those workers there. Okay, no, there is an armory, and we do have Goliaths underway. Okay, so this Wraith will get a few kills, but will be ultimately chased out. The barracks is still here. So 2 worker kills so far for the Wraith. And it looks like Thunder Dragon is content to just sit on these 2 bases for right now. Okay, there's the, I heard the missiles from the Goliath going ahead and taking out that Wraith. So got a little bit of workers, but not too much. Nice quick response there by Thunder Dragon. Moving the tank forward here, we have Dead Infested trying to push forward with these Vultures, trying to get up in the face of the Thunder Dragon Vultures to get that splash damage on them, but just being repelled. Too many tanks there. Being forced back here. There's a lot of Vultures, though, at home that could join up with this. Now Thunder Dragon feeling bold, moving out with the 4 tanks and Goliath. Goliaths are so good against Vultures. Reinforcements running into the army, being forced to run back. And now we have Dead Infested here trying to set up a little bit of a choke point here with this supply depot. Burn down a few more mines here from Thunder Dragon. Taking up position a little bit far back on the high ground, though. If you're going to set up and try to use the high ground to your advantage, I think you'd like to see maybe like here, but maybe just not feeling comfortable being quite that close. But this is letting Dead Infested get out with some Vultures. Could perhaps threaten a backstab here. I have to see Dead Infested still just on the 1 base. and 19 workers. So that worker count is worrying me a little bit here in this game for Dead Infested. And we do have 2 more tanks coming up. These ones looking like they're going to position themselves a little bit more forward. We got some turrets coming down for Thunder Dragon as well, back home. Just making sure they're going to be safe. There were some scans as well that we just heard. Not sure. Okay, that was Thunder Dragon checking on Dead Infested, seeing what they've got going on in the base, trying to keep an eye on that factory count, trying to keep an eye on that starport count, see if anything major is changing. And it looks like Dead Infested did lose their barracks at some point. Gonna go ahead and have to rebuild that before we can get some more factories. Got some more scans coming off. It looks like checking on that natural, seeing that it's not there yet. Dead Infested, the vultures there getting pulled into the tank fire, being forced back. Looks like Dead Infested is setting up some tanks on the high ground. I like that. Gonna keep Thunder Dragon from getting in. Looks like Dead Infested will be taking their natural here pretty soon. And I noticed the vultures here, the back, trying to put some mines down to keep those tanks back, along with the Wraith guarding them. We do have this vulture group here. I'm wondering what they're going to do, if they're going to try and sneak into the main here. There are a couple of Goliaths if they go in after those Goliaths go out. But there's no comsat for Dead Infested and no mines out there, so Thunder Dragon, I like what they're doing. They're scanning the other bases that Dead Infested could have expanded to, just making sure there's no unexpected bases going on here. Dead Infested planting some mines, but now the army of Thunder Dragon moves out. That does give an opening if Dead Infested wants to charge in there. Getting some shots fired off against the supply depot here. Not quite able to take it down, pulling that engineering bay back, but it is currently burning down. So unless that gets repaired, it's going to go ahead and as the tanks go out, here come the vultures in. Gonna pick off the workers at the natural. Although not quite target firing the workers. There are some firing at the turrets instead. And then the tanks that just left coming home, so these vultures need to run into the main. Instead, they're going for the kill on the tanks, which they might get here. Feeling some damage, but now there are some Goliaths here. Gonna get those 2 tanks. Very nice. Got some good worker kills in there, too. But the worker lead is still just so much for Thunder Dragon right now. The natural is done for Dead Infested here. Going ahead and getting the workers started. Also getting the academy now so that they can go ahead and get scanned. Oof, that Goliath getting drawn into the tank fire there. That's, I think, one of the hard things when you're setting up like a siege line like this is just keeping your units from wandering into the enemy like that. So we've got, let's just take a look at the factory count here. We've got 5 factories for Thunder Dragon. Looks like they're getting a 6th one now. And is this, okay, they're getting a 2nd starport. They are getting their facility. Here it is, science facility for the upgrades. Going ahead and getting vehicle plating. Actually, let's check the, okay, so they do have attack level 1 already. That Infested sitting at 0-0. So that, the attack upgrade is pretty good in Terran vs. Terran for the tanks. Tanks deal so much damage that vehicle plating can sometimes, like, it's, I don't know if it's really worth it or not if you're going up against tank heavy play. But that attack upgrade can definitely help. Thunder Dragon spreading out across the map here, doing a bit of scouting, but we do have a dropship with some vultures, and I don't know if it got spotted or not. There are these vultures here and down here. Do we see anything? We do see turrets going up, so I think this did get spotted by Thunder Dragon, which is unfortunate for Dead Infested here, trying to do something to get out of this contain and deal some damage. But I don't think this drop is long for this world. Lone dropship, they're going in. There's a Wraith going out to try and meet it, just misses it. But there are plenty of turrets here. Maybe gonna get a couple of vultures down. 1, 2, couple of vultures got down. But not much more than that. There are a lot of tanks though, so depending on Thunder Dragon's reaction speed here, Just laying down mines in the enemy base. Very dangerous for Thunder Dragon here if they trigger them. But this main is almost mined out. Oh, does lose one tank. Is it on move? Oh, there it goes. They must have actually attacked the unit and not done an attack move. But this main is mined out now. And we do have nice making turrets in the air lanes, setting up some Goliaths in air lanes so a drop like that can't happen again. And just sort of making sure that they know exactly what is going on the map. That infested does, or that might have been a Thunder Dragon scan then, because I think they have a comsat, don't they? Yeah. Oh, no, not yet. Okay, it's not complete just yet. So here we have a very, very formidable tank line. You know, Dead Infested's got the money. I would love to see like a BC switch or something here to bust this up. But really that would only be possible with the banked gas because we're still only mining the one and you really cannot support gas production. Or sorry, not gas production, but BC production off of one gas. The Wraith getting some shots in at the barracks here. Trying to pull it back so that way they can do... Oh, and the Marine getting picked off by the tank even. Oof. You have a little bit of tank on tank wars. This is something that you might be used to seeing from the older days with some of the older maps where it was very easy for Terran tanks to just fire into your main. Dead Infested has caught up sort of in the worker count, still behind a good bit, but Thunder Dragon here now going ahead, taking their 4th base. They've got their 3rd mineral only, so they've been making sure there's no way that Dead Infested can get out of this little pocket. Thunder Dragon content to just sit with this contain for now. I'm trying to watch too, so they are getting air upgrades. They're getting their Wraith army built up here. So it looks like they're going to be going for Wraiths. The barracks here getting pushed back a little bit. Looks like we're repositioning, or we're just floating it. Oh no, are we trying to... It's doing a little dance, okay. Looks like we're chasing back the vision, which is one of the uses that you want to do with your race is just keep your opponent's vision as short as you can, getting those floating buildings to have to fly back. It looks like the factory has stopped dancing for us. More reinforcements coming down from Thunder Dragon. Looks like they've still got their rally point in the natural. I like this, moving some Goliaths over here, just making sure that nothing gets dropped over here. Because while they do have the turrets, the turret line here to make sure that no dropships can come up into their natural, there was a little bit of a lane here where dropships could have squeaked by, or they could drop and try to flank this contain, but I'm gonna go ahead and take down the engineering bay here and start working on the tanks. They also took out the SCV that was building that turret. And it looks like that Infested is trying to go for some dropships, but they might not be ready in time. Looks like Thunder Dragon's just doing that harassment with the contain, but gonna lose these wraiths, unfortunately. The paper plane's fallen there. But now there's a corner of their own main that Dead Infested is not able to use. Does have an extra command center, though. Looks like they may have tried to float it over here to the 3rd, but not able to land thanks to the missile turrets that are there. Oh, we do have, okay, battle cruisers. We've got the Yamato gun working up, but we don't really have the gas. We've only been mining on one. We haven't taken the natural gas yet. And we spent a lot of our gas on tanks, on a couple drop ships. So we burned through that bank of gas very quickly. I think we're only going to get 2 battle cruisers here, but maybe they'll be able to do something for Dead Infested. Their dragon here just strengthening up that contain, sending more units down. Still just on the 6 factories, the 2 starports here. Taking out more tanks slowly but surely. The front line of Dead Infested becoming thinner and thinner here. Looks like we're trying to float our command center again here up into the north. But it looks like it's just chilling where that factory was chilling earlier. And with that, perhaps there were some scans. There definitely were some scans that went off, but Dead Infested is going to go ahead and call the GG. Doesn't see a way out of this contain. Sadly, before the BCs came out, but good game there from both players. Go ahead and get game number 2 loaded up for them, which will be on a mystery map. Let's see what map we end up on here. Right, so it looks like they played game number 2 on Eclipse. Oh, enter does not start. You have to click OK or do Alt-O or whatever I think it is. Yeah, so as Dead Infested clarified in the chat, they weren't aware of the maps that were supposed to be played for week 1. So they kind of just, I guess, picked maps between themselves and played it. So we are on Eclipse. We're getting some maps that you won't see on the rest of the week 1 casts. We've got Thunder Dragon spawning as the Blue Terran up at the top right. And then we've got Dead Infested spawning as the Teal Terran down at the bottom left. So I wonder if we'll see early aggression again from Dead Infested, or if we'll see an economic opening since that early aggression did not pay off in game 1. Looks like we've got the supply depot on 8. From both players. And you know, as a Terran player, that's something I've kind of I think there's enough space for the comsat there, but I've kind of been wondering about is the supply depot on 8 versus the supply depot on 9, because I've seen people do both, and I was always used to doing the supply depot on 8, but recently I've started doing supply depot on 9 just to try it out. I don't really know how big of a difference it makes. Looks like we're seeing some similar building placement from both of the players. We've got the barracks close to the command center, which also is close to the ramp in this position here. But then we have Thunder Dragon here tossing the... Actually, can I... Oops, I'm hitting control. Oh, because I think it's was played on 1-on-1, so both will turn yellow. Hey, you want a really confusing game? We've got Dead Infested as the yellow and Thunder Dragon as the yellow. That's confusing when it's a mirror matchup. Here we do have the scout coming in. I think there is, yep, there's a scout here now harassing the supply depot. Go yellow, says the chat. An interesting... Dead Infested wanting to deny this scout. So Thunder Dragon still going with just the 1 Marine into the factory. Not able to confirm, you know, that this barracks is in here. Is able to confirm now that a Marine has shown up to shoot the SCV. So gets, I think, the information that they were looking for there. They're going to go ahead and park their SCV out in the natural, wait to see, okay, am I going to be up against one base again, or is this going to be two base play? Which, as a player, I would be very suspicious if a Terran and a TVT is blocking me from looking in their main. I'm thinking they're up to something. First factory has started for Dead Infested. A little bit behind Thunder Dragons. But does have the 2 Marines versus the 1. Looks like we are maybe going to get a second factory here now. Yep. So looks like we are again seeing some 2 factory play here. Maybe even up to 3 again. And so it looks like Thunder Dragon is going with the same build that they were going with, that 1 factory expand, getting the 2 vultures before the machine shop. Floating that barracks over. So I like this from Thunder Dragon, seeing that, you know, this is probably some sort of 1 base aggressive play again, and just saying, you know what, I'm sticking with the build that I did before. You came at me with that last game, and I was able to hold it, so I think I can hold it again. Second factory started now for Thunder Dragon. And the third factory, so we are seeing the same builds from both of the players. Barracks go ahead and pass each other. Natural is up now for Thunder Dragon. We do have speed on the way, and speed as well. And actually, these upgrades are pretty closely timed. Dead Infest is coming just a little bit faster. Also, earlier, thank you for the follow, Escalade. Very appreciated. So now I suspect that we'll see this move out right around when the speed is finishing. And I like this. This barracks just park in here. The SCV park in here, so that way Thunder Dragon will have full knowledge of when that push comes out. But we've got equal unit counts here right now, 5 and 5. The third factory coming down for Thunder Dragon, so it really feels like Thunder Dragon's going to come out ahead with this again. So I needed to grab a quick drink there. So I'm gonna try and poke up and see what we have here, and sees a whole lot of vultures. So I like the up to 3 factories here. Gonna just continue to pump vultures. Gonna keep an eye out for when that armory comes down. But then infested here, he got the 3 factories and is just sitting on the 1 base. I'm surprised not moving out. There we go. Now here comes the move out of the vultures. Gonna march across the map here. Was waiting for those mines to come down so that they could go ahead and lace them down along the way. I'm gonna go ahead and push this barracks out of the way, but Thunder Dragon already knows that those vultures are out and has a huge vulture army of their own just waiting here. This is not going to turn out well for Dead Infested if he marches up in there. Do you like the mine laying, though? Given vision along this immediate path back? Yeah, Thunder Dragon just has too much at home. This push is not going to do much. Dead Infested needs to transition and take that second base. And now that the aggression hasn't come yet, I think Thunder Dragon's kind of wondering, where is that aggression? Oh, there's the vultures. Gonna go ahead and get that vulture home with 10 hit points. But saw the vulture count, feeling pretty confident here, moving their own vultures out a bit. There we do have the scan for Thunder Dragon coming down on top of the army of Dead Infested. Sees the vulture count, likes what they sees, goes ahead and moves in. If I could put my S's on the right words. Getting a nice arc here, a nice little vulture war happening. Who is going to come out on top though? It looks like pretty even trade, but it's all going to come down to the micro. Thunder Dragon feeling like they have to pull back here. Dead Infested just able to take the victory there. But that fight is a lot closer to home for Thunder Dragon than for Dead Infested, so the reinforcements able to get there faster. We've got the reinforcements zooming in, and now Dead Infested feeling a bit more brave here, going ahead and mining up a little bit closer. See what they decide to do with these vultures. I'm hoping they don't move into the natural, because that would be disaster. But smartly keeping those vultures back. Oh, wait. I may have spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Here they go, moving in. Vulture count is pretty good here for Thunder Dragon. Getting the SCV in the mix too. And now they're doing the target fire that they need to quickly take out Dead Infested's vultures. But Dead Infested doing their own target firing as well, but just too many there for Thunder Dragon. Defender's advantage coming in there. Got, looks like 2 more factories coming down, or 1 more factory actually. What is... And a command center. Nice. Thunder Dragon looking like they want to go ahead and take their 3rd. Dead Infested looks like they are insistent on making this vulture play work. They did go up to 4 factories here. So pumping out those vultures, but could be getting your 2nd behind this. You know the enemy is up here in their natural. There were a lot of vultures queued up. The queued vultures, that could have been converted into a command center, maybe worked as a transition into 2 base play, and now we do have the move out from Thunder Dragon again here. With a scan cleaning up some of those mines, but not quite getting all of them. Now Dead Infested with the mines is seeing this move out here, but was forced to fall back to their own natural. This Marine a little bit distracted here with this barracks. The vulture's like, hey, come on, there's something worse coming. Now laying mines, sees the vulture count, goes ahead and backs up a bit. That vulture unfortunately getting caught. And we've got another chase happening here. Oh, but there is a tank in play now. It looks like that tank took some damage from a mine again, just like last game, where the first tank marching forward got some damage in. Able to pick it off. Dead Infested pursuing the group, relaying mines. I like this with the laying back of the mines that were cleared. So that way if another tank tries to come in to do any sort of contain, it's probably going to take some damage. So now Dead Infested up to 5 factories. Really going in with the vultures here, seeing if there's any opening. They do have a large number of vultures compared to Thunder Dragon. This could be an issue, but Thunder Dragon does have the 2 tanks, is going to go ahead and use siege mode. Dead Infested trying to hug these tanks, but the ramp does not make it easy to do. And it just takes... I know that feeling. It just takes forever for a vulture to kill a tank. That's typically not a situation you want to be in. Just too much there on the high ground for Thunder Dragon. Dead Infested really needs to transition out of the vultures at this point, but it looks like we're just getting more and more vultures. Now with tanks in the mix, vultures just do not do damage to tanks, and it's so frustrating that they don't. It's like back home, we are getting upgrades, so we are getting our +1 attack here for Dead Infested, and we are getting our +2/+1 for Thunder Dragon here. We do have the 2 starports here. So going to go ahead and mix in some wraiths, which Dead Infested really does not have any anti-air. They are going ahead and taking their 2nd though, which I think is earlier this game than last game, so that will definitely help them out. We do have scans coming down here for Thunder Dragon, checking that factory count and checking the main to see what's going on there at the command center. Oops. It's like Dead Infested trying to poke forward with these vultures again, but wisely deciding to back out here after seeing the tanks there, dealing some damage. And the third, it looks like, is finally up. I think this command center was built quite a while ago, but Thunder Dragon just now going ahead and taking it, feeling confident. But there's a lot of avenues where that third is pretty wide open. But with a large vulture force of their own, Dead Infested would really risk, getting backstabbed there if they sent too much up there. I do like the supply depots, though, there, going ahead and trying to block that base up. Trying to make sure that these vultures aren't able to just go in there and run by. Thunder Dragon just has such a commanding lead in the worker count here, up to 55. Moving forward with the army now. I'm worried about these mines, though. Oh, one of them does go off, gets a number of vultures there. That's really going to help that infested, but I think there might just be too many tanks. They're laying this mine here. It gets picked off by the tanks. They are forcing this back now that all of the vultures have been cleaned up, trying to keep these tanks alive from the mines. And as I said, all the vultures... Oh! 5 tanks, I think that was. 4 or 5 gone from the mine. That's so painful. Thunder Dragon wisely scanning there to go ahead and clear some more of those out. Oh, and another mine goes off. Doesn't quite kill the tanks, but deals a lot of damage on them. Those mines are doing work for Dead Infested right now, but not able to stop the contain. We do have a siege tank out now, though. Oh, so many tanks went boom there. Like the... You do have some scans coming down, I think from Thunder Dragon. Yep, from Thunder Dragon. Just checking to see if that third's been taken or not yet. And now we do have the Wraith Force coming in. Thunder Dragon has been keeping tabs on what his opponent has, so knows that there's not a lot of anti-air. Comes in with the Wraiths here. Gonna go after the workers. The worker count's already so low for Dead Infested. Only the 2 Marines that could act as anti-air. They're not up there. They go ahead and get moved in, but there's just too many Wraiths. They're gonna get quickly cleaned up here. Dead Infested, not sure what to do with the vultures here, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't know either. Going ahead and trying to send them out. I think trying to make Thunder Dragon pull those Wraiths back and see what they can do. They do find a way around the tanks, but pulling back now. Still no anti-air. There are Goliaths underway now. At least one. A turret is finished down there. At the bottom of the map, covered up by the overlay there, but... So the Wraiths are going to be repelled for now. They did find something over here to kill, probably a stray vulture. Going ahead and clearing up some of the mines. It looks like Thunder Dragon wants to make this contain a little bit better, not leave this left side open. But these 2 tanks here, oh, they got dangerously close to those mines there. I was afraid they were going to get lost, because there's 2 mines there stacked. Which is interesting. I never really thought about it, but you can only select 1 mine at a time. Never really thought about that. The vultures being forced back here with that Goliath. Dead Infested trying to keep the contain from being made, trying to throw down mines next to the tanks, but there's just too much there. Able to clean it up very quickly for Thunder Dragon. And the contain is again forming. Quick little check again at the third with the Wraiths for Thunder Dragon. Sees that nothing's there. I almost wonder if these Wraiths could make a dive into the main, but there are a couple of turrets here now, so wouldn't really be able to do too much with them. Getting that mining back again at the natural. But again, not taking the natural gas. We do have a bank right now, but that bank, as we saw in the last game, will not last long. More tanks rolling along here. Their little treads going. Coming up to reinforce this contain. And the Wraiths are going to make a dive into the main here. But they see that missile turret wisely back off and decide to go ahead and try and see if they can take out a factory or two. A couple of Goliaths did just pop though, so probably going to push this back. Thunder Dragon wisely backing off here. With the Wraiths not quite able to take out a factory. Looks like they're going to go ahead and take a 4th base here. SV Smith sent just a little bit. But that is pretty easily corrected. I'm not sure if that was meant to dive on the engineering bay or not. Ultra Strang a little bit too close. Trying to take off shots on the tank there. Okay. Then a nice scan from Dead Infested, trying to clean up some of the mines and also just keep the Terran or Thunder Dragon's units back as far as possible. Yeah, as Chad is mentioning, the supply difference is just too much. We've got 149 supply to 57, 62 workers to 25 workers. It is not looking good for Dead Infested right now. But able to keep themselves alive. Thunder Dragon not able to break this just yet. Targeting that engineering bay down, wandered a little bit too far. And if Dead Infested's going to want more turrets, they're going to have to rebuild that now. Looks like they are rebuilding. They're building a barracks. I'm not sure why. Given that their barracks is still alive. But perhaps just building that instead of an engineering bay to use as your spotter. So I really don't know from this position if there's anything that Dead... Oh, and with that, I think Dead Infested called the GG. So may have been... Actually, wait. This was not TV. Top versus bottom. So it shouldn't have been allied chat. But we'll go ahead and give Dead Infested the benefit of the doubt there. Giving the GG to Thunder Dragon, recognizing this contain and going, okay, yeah, there's no way that I'm going to be able to break that. So good game from both players. The early aggression from Dead Infested just not able to get it done. And Thunder Dragon with that really great contain getting set up there. So with that, that will bring it up to 3-0 so far for Fear Factory with that one walkover. Up next, we're going to have Shimmer from Fear Factory versus Morik from Attitude Plus. And this will be our first PVZ of the day. Alright, and so we've got Morik spawning as the Red Zerg. Actually, this is top versus bottom. So yeah, as the Red Zerg up at the top left. And we've got Shimmer spawning as the Blue Protoss down at the bottom left of Fighting Spirit. Again, our map pool. Since we got thrown out of sorts there a little bit. The first match is on Fighting Spirit. The second match is on Polaris Rhapsody. And then if we need a third match, it will be on Polypoid. So it looks like we're doing a cross scout with the Overlord, which is pretty interesting to see. And one of the things that I've heard, but I'm not a Zerg player myself, with a 4-player map like this, that can be kind of nice. If you scout in one of the directions that will put your Overlord at the natural first, you can kind of, with the Overlord, get your scout completed a little bit faster sometimes that way. Because if your opponent is there and is going for some sort of fast expansion, you might be able to see that in the natural a little bit sooner. But if your Zerg coach has told you otherwise with scouting, follow your coach's advice and not mine. Shimmer here going up to the top left, finding an empty base. Meanwhile, it looks like we do have a 9 pull coming out, or actually an overpull, I think, because I think the Overlord came first. Yeah, based on the position in the queue, the Overlord came first, so I think that would be an overpull. We are seeing a fast expansion here. Forge first, it looks like, for Shimmer. And I'm not sure why a second... I guess doing the double scout there, so because they weren't at the first place, going ahead and just scouting the other 2 places. Which can hurt you a bit economically, sending out that second worker, but we'll see if that factors in at all. Now, does manage to find, goes ahead and pulls this other one home. Looks like Morik does want to chase this probe out with a drone. I don't know if that's really needed. You're going to have Zerglings that are going to be able to take this drone, or sorry, this probe out. But on the lower players, lower levels, a lot of the times, you know, your opponent may not have the APM to keep that scout alive. So if you can go ahead and take it out a little bit sooner, it may be worth it. And there it goes and falls to the Zerglings. It looks like we are going to go ahead and get our hatchery at the natural. Nexus having started just a little bit before. Now, I don't think Shimmer saw quite how many Zerglings were made. Did see the 4 that killed the probe. But the thing is, see, with this cross scout, now even if we scouted to the left, we wouldn't have known where Shimmer is. But we still don't know where they are. We are taking a guess at the bottom right, and the Overlord is just getting here now, looks like. Does see the Protoss building, so Morik does know where the Protoss is now. Forcing to block this up a little bit with the probes. I'm not sure if this is Zergling tight or not in between these 2 buildings, but it might very well be. Oh, that probe trying to go out for some reason, going ahead and getting caught by the Zerglings, so Shimmer does know that those are there now. The natural is going to go ahead and finish up, so imagine that we'll see maybe a probe transfer happen here soon. Going ahead and taking their gas, so looking to proceed pretty normally. Pulling that probe back, though, before getting the second Zealot. There's only 6 slings out there, so probably not that big of a deal. Yeah, Chad is saying that they don't think this is Ling tight either, that only Forge below Gate is probably Ling tight, but they're not 100% sure on it. Going ahead and moving out with the 2 Zealots here, gonna find the Zerglings. Trying to do a little bit of micro, but that Zealot there just getting hit from all of the Zerglings, gonna fall. This other one back. Zerg, meanwhile, behind this, going ahead, getting their gas at their natural. They are getting Lurker aspect, so gonna go for Hydra and Lurker play here against the Protoss. Now with the second Zealot, gonna clean up the Lings, but again, back down to just the one lone War Veteran Zealot with 3 kills. Morik here, starting that Hydra production, still droning up a bit, like what I'm seeing there. Protoss quickly getting their +1. But the question is, will that +1 finish before the Zerg can try and snipe that Forge? Another probe scout with those Zerglings clear, able to get in, see the 2 Hydralisks, so now Shimmer is aware that this is going to be some sort of Hydralisk play, whether it will be a straight Zergling, or sorry, not Zergling, Hydralisk bust attempt, or, you know, something else. Shimmer's not sure. I don't see any observatory or robotics facility coming down just yet. We did get the Citadel for leg upgrade. And now we do have 2 lurkers morphing. Also got our Queen's Nest started. Looks like this drone wants to build something. We're also going to take a 3rd, it looks like, for Morik. Both players content to just sit at home for right now. Very interested in where these lurkers are going to go. Looks like they are marching toward the Protoss base. They can position right. They can maybe take out that forge, but I don't know if there's enough time for them to take it out before the +1 finishes. And there's nothing army-wise from Morik to really follow up the lurkers. So they're not going to be able to get in. Oh, and these zealots are moving out. Spot the lurkers, but they're not going to be able to do anything about it. They're going to just have to run right past. And then home. And then there's just the one zealot here moving out for some reason. Probably again going to get to scout, I imagine. But now that Shimmer knows that it's lurkers, not really going to be able to move out until you either get Storm to take care of the lurkers or get your observatory. And here we go with the robotics facility making their way to that observer. I lost track of the zealot that was moving across, but I suspect one of these hydralisks, this one right here, has a kill. Storm is on the way though for Shimmer, so gonna have options to move out here. Oh, we did run a few zealots. They're gonna find these lurkers. Forces the cancel. And forcing these hydralisks to run home. Nice little catch there by Shimmer. And there's not really a lot here. Zerg has kind of just been droning up, teching up, and not really getting too much army, being forced to make that army now. But I'm not sure what their larva count is. As we all know, larva is like the 3rd resource of StarCraft. Gotta keep an eye on how many of those you have available at any time. Now the Zealot's getting some drone kills. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every drone kill hurts Zerg so much. The Zealot's still going. It's another kill before being cleaned up by some new forces, so pretty decent damage there from the Protoss with that little force. Forced the cancel of like 5 lurkers. And I got like 5 drone kills. That is pretty rough for the Zerg. But the Zerg is getting their 3rd base here, so they do have another hatchery for larva to spend. They have a lot of money in the bank too, so they won't be feeling the effects of that right away, as they're able to slam down both a Defiler Mound and an Ultralisk Cavern at the same time. Oh. Unfortunately, Dragoon is stuck. He recognizes this, so Shimmer goes ahead and removes the cannon, the offending cannon that was in the way. So sends out a Zealot, maybe to see where to check, make sure those lurkers are still there. Going over here to the Zerg's 3rd, gonna, maybe. Okay, not quite. Going ahead and checking over on the right to see if Zerg has expanded over here at all or not. Huh? Oh, we've got another star. I was like, I hear a Dragoon firing. Taking out the gateway. Oh, that's so painful. Another Dragoon. It's just having some SimCity issues here. Oh, because yeah, if you take out this, you're probably knocking something offline. So yeah, you just gotta throw away that 150. But now, taking out the, there is the Observer here, so I actually don't know if that lurker could be seen. The way the units were moving, it looked like it might have been out of range, but Unburrows gets cleaned up here by the Protoss. Protoss does find the third of the Zerg, though, now. Gonna go ahead and try and get some more kills. It's 1 drone kill. 2. Nothing coming from Mork to back this up, so it's just up to the drones to protect themselves right now. But on top of the Zealot, there are more on the way. And that was a nice number of kills for that one Zealot. And now the Protoss army with those lurkers cleaned up is on the move. Doesn't have the Observer with it, though. So if Mork's able to get some lurkers up here, might be able to stall this out a little bit. But instead, they're sending Ultralisks. But the Ultralisks are not figuring out how to get up there. They do now, though. But I think there's just too much from the Protoss for 3 Ultralisks to be able to stop this. Yeah, that third unfortunately going down for the Zerg. But now here, these lurkers getting some nice shots off here on the Protoss army. There's no Observer in sight at the moment. The Observer now coming over, trying to get here on time. It looks like Shimmer is looking to take their third pretty soon here with the probe positioned out there. But now Zerg pulling these lurkers back. Re-rallying their army here. Recognizing, okay, I've lost my third, but I've got the power of Ultralisks. Oh wait, no, they're producing Zerglings. I thought they were going to be producing some more Ultralisks. Going ahead and replacing that hatchery in base in the main. Can't really take another base unless you're somehow able to sneak one in, but Protoss is able to have the vision. Nice reinforcement here of the Protoss army for Shimmer. Going ahead and moving and trying to move up to this bridge. There are more lurkers under morphing here. But there is the Observer in place this time. The Zealots do get cleaned up. Canceling the lurkers here. Don't know if I agree with that move. I feel like the lurkers would have been more useful, but the Protoss army is here and they may not have morphed in time. There's enough Dragoons here. +2 for the attack and no upgrades for the Zerg army. The Filers are out. Plague is almost finished. Trying to send some reinforcements to maybe slow this down, but I don't think this is, I don't think this natural is long for this world. And with that, Morik is going to go ahead and GG out. And the Zerglings just come out spawn in yellow, blue if we unshift tab there. So kind of surprised the replay is still going. But with that, Shimmer is going to go up. My guess here is that Morik probably sent the GG in allied chat since this one was in top versus bottom. And we'll move on to game number 2 on Polaris Rhapsody. As we have the funky Terran beats playing while we get the game loaded up here. And this whole time, chat, no one's gonna at me. I had the wrong who versus who up at the top here. How dare you, chat? You betrayed me. That's all good. So we've got Shimmer spawning as the red Protoss down at the bottom right. Polaris Rhapsody, and we've got Morik spawning as the blue Zerg up at the top left. We've got a 2-player map here. So we'll see if any strategies change. So this is tier 3 play. This is Fear Factory versus Attitude Plus, which you can see on the bottom right here. But this is tier 3. So I'm not sure that looked a little bit odd with the drone hatch timing there from Morik. Perhaps let a little bit of money build up without getting workers morphing there. looks like we're going to see something similar from Shimmer here. We do have the pylon here at the natural. Going ahead and scouting with the pylon. Or sorry, not with the pylon, with the probe. I'd be kind of scared to see a pylon move, in all honesty. Would probably just GG, quit the game, and uninstall it at that point. Looks like we're seeing a similar build here. Or no, just a 9 pool. Okay, because the Overlord was the... So actually the last game might have been 9 pool. Because yeah, now that I look at it, I thought the position in the queue here would indicate which was started first. But nah, it looks like it does units and then buildings. So I think we saw a 9 pool last game too. Shimmer sees what's up. Those are going to at least need to get a cannon down or something relatively quickly here. Oh, 8 pool. Chat is saying. Okay, so the pool went down a little bit sooner than I had actually... Oh, yeah. Or, well, we're at 8 supply now because the extractor's down, but... And then again, sending the drone after the probe. But all of the larvae got spent on drones, and we're still... spending larvae on drones. So we got the 9 pool, but we're not getting any Zerglings. Shimmer trying to keep an eye on the Zergling production here, trying to see when those Zerglings come out, how many of them are coming out, but sees that, oh, you know what, you're not producing any lings right now, so I'm really not pressured at the moment. Going ahead and taking the Nexus now. Throwing down the gateway. Protoss just operating, business as usual here. The Zerglings do come out, do get the probe, so Shimmer knows that the Zergling production has started. Overlord getting into the base here, able to see what is going on and report that back to Cerebrit Morik. Nexus about halfway done. Looks like Morik is going out to go ahead and take their natural as well now. Looks like it was a little bit slower this game compared to last game. Going ahead and mining a mineral chunk with the probe that was there. Feeling like they don't really need to block this up at all, and going ahead and throwing down their second cannon now. And with the return of the main probe, who is now going to leave and scout, there was also a probe transfer that went down there. So going ahead and getting a Spire. Nice. So we're seeing some different tech out of Morik this game. Gonna try something different, mix it up on game 2. Shimmer content to go with the build that worked in game 1. But will this probe get in and see the Spire? It's like taking a really wide path here. The Zergling's not able to catch up. And Shimmer does see the Spire here, so gonna know that there's some sort of potential for Mutalisk play here. That was something we didn't see from Shimmer last game, was a Stargate with the anti-air in Corsair, so maybe we'll see that come out of them, keeping an eye on that production queue. But at the same time, we've got seeing only 2 Zerglings out for Morik. We've got a couple of bold Zealots marching out across the map here. And I don't think Morik is going to have what they need to hold this off. They do have a bank of larvae, though. 4 larvae so far, it looks like. Now 3 larvae with a morph going on there, so... Oh, and they're morphing the Mutalisks, okay. So gonna take some damage here. Really have to minimize this here. That's 1 drone down, 2 drones, 3 drones down for the response here. And then 5 drones. 6. All 7 drones at the natural just melted away. And these zealots trying to see what they can do. One completely untouched zealot until just now. Coming up into the main. Taking some shots on the spire, but now being corrected to the drones, but unfortunately being taken down. But Morik really has no economy. Only 5 drones mining, it looks like. Yeah, 5 drones mining minerals, 3 on the gas. Can these mutas do something? There are the 2 cannons here. There is some room for muta play down here at the bottom of the natural. But cannons going up next to the main nexus, but they're going to be a little bit before they get done. These mutalisks are going to have to do a lot to make up for that loss of drones. Finding a spot where they can get some work done, but being pulled up by that cannon, not quite grouped up or stacked, so... now they found the spot to harass the natural where the main probes were retreating to. Does lose 1 mutalisk, but evening out the worker count pretty well here, down to 2120 now. Does lose another mutalisk, unfortunately, there. But Zerg trying to use this time to drone up, get a few more mutalisks to replace. Now, Dragoon, rather, being placed in the natural line there. So the worker count comes out pretty even after that, surprisingly. Those mutalisks able to do some work here for Morik, but now another... Zealot coming up, but unfortunately there's 3 mutalisks here, but this Zealot might get some kills, so we'll keep an eye on the kill count for it. There's also more coming across the map. It looks like the other mutalisks were chasing a Zealot as well. Does get 1 kill off. Not quite able to get the 2nd kill, and then the other Zealot targets the wrong drone there, so not quite able to get more, but now the Dragoons are out. Oh, and that Dragoon AI pathing just not doing it there. Getting gummed up on that tight little bridge that's there on this map. The Overlord taking some shots. The Dragoons took a moment to start firing there, so this might work out for the mutalisks. Shimmer sending another Dragoon across, but this is looking like a lost cause here in this particular fight. Sending another Zealot out. Shimmer really about just keeping those units flowing into Morik's base, but now we've got some Zergling support here on the bridge, which is going to give those, if I could right-click that Zealot, thank you. Gonna give the mutalisks some time to get some damage on that Zealot, and yeah, that Zealot's gonna go ahead and clean up one of the Zerglings, but not really be able to do too much more. But there are more Zealots on the way. I feel like if Shimmer would group these up, they'd be a little bit more effective here. But I'm not sure the way that those units were coming in. I was gonna say maybe it was a rally, but it looks like the units are just sitting at the gateway, so it doesn't look like there's a rally for those ones. There is for this one, though. Gonna go ahead and pull back here, back to the main. Now, it looks like we're getting a little bit to what the last game looked like here, except instead of pure Hydra Lurk, we're getting Hydras with Mutalisks here. I like that they're situated here on the bridge. A nice little choke for them, since that's the way that the Protoss has seemed to have been coming, but Protoss could kind of walk around this and mitigate that bridge pretty easily. Nothing watching that path. So Lurker aspect is on the way now. Citadel of Adun for the Protoss. Don't think we have a robotics facility yet, so once the Lurkers come into play, going to be able to keep Shimmer back home, or at least back a reasonable bit from the Zerg base. Zerg able to stabilize, I think, at this point here, getting the drone count up a bit more now, up to 22. Going ahead and getting that Queen's Nest and getting its 3rd base over at the double gas base too, so that will be very nice. It looks like Morik, if they're going to go for that Ultra Defiler play that they were trying to do last game. These Mutalisks here going down to that little bottom left corner. Perhaps just making sure that Protoss hasn't taken any bases that the Morik's not aware of. The Protoss army moving out a bit. Looks like maybe Just scouting with this probe again. Gathering the army out in front of the wall. Zerg army gathering up here too. And there's the lurker morph. All of the hydralisks. But again, Shimmer gonna see this. Sees the lurker eggs. Getting around the same time too, I think, getting that +1 in leg speed, and there's the robotics facility, so we will see the observers come out. The probe scout getting picked off before it can find this third, so we'll see if Shimmer finds that catch of the probe a little bit suspicious, or if they just go, oh darn, my probe got caught. Maybe try to scout it again later. My Templars now being mixed in. We are getting Storm. Fire attack being upgraded here for the Zerg. And we've got another hatchery coming down. Oh, I'm looking at these lurkers and I'm just like, oh, that's so stormable. The way they're just clumped together, not good. Hopefully they get moved before the Protoss army marches forward with Storm complete. We're getting Spawn Broodling, perhaps to counter the High Templar. And a Zergling goes ahead and pokes in there. Sees that the army is just chilling outside the natural. Arc with another set of Hydralisks. Will these morph to Lurker? Try and keep an eye on that. Here comes a Zealot to scout that top right. It is going to be discovered before it can really get online. Mutalisks were up there, but unfortunately they had started to go toward the Protoss, but being forced to turn around here. We got a couple of drone kills. Oh, and the damaged drone able to be pulled away just in time. Lives with 7 life. But now the Protoss army sees that that third is there, knows that if I could say that 50 more times, knows that the base there has double gas. Gonna go ahead and march in with a large amount of Zealots. With that leg speed, they're getting there before the rest of the army. Gonna tear the space apart with their psionic blades, or psi blades. And now the Dragoons come in to help clean up the Mutalisks. Drones trying to run those away. Protoss army going to be able to clean that up, keep the Zerg on 2 bases. We do have a queen out now. Spawn Broodling has been researched. I don't think the High... Yeah, there's the High Templar. Going ahead and getting an Archon without any Storm energy being spent. Now these Zealots running in here to the main. Gonna go ahead and try to take out some of the drones. The entire Lurker army out of position. But might be able to get back into position in time. Going ahead, it looks like clumping up on top of the ramp. Oh no, they were here. But they're not there now as the Protoss army is approaching. Those Lurkers really need to get back down there and in position and spread out. But where's the High Templar too? There is the High Templar in play. Does get a Storm off, but not on too much before getting picked off there. Lurkers really need to burrow here. They are going to get clean up some of that army, but the Zealots are able to just run away from the Lurkers. Got a few more drone kills in there, but Mutalisks were able to clean that up. Looks like there's a few just stray units across the map that perhaps Shimmer lost sight of. Going ahead and pulling that Archon back now. But behind that, Shimmer's been macroing. Has a pretty decently sized army. But I don't see... Okay, we did get the observatory. Okay, there's the first observer. Alright, that's what we need in this Protoss army in order to deal with these lurkers. And that Archon, 8 kills, cleaned up the whole Mutalisk task force there. So, unfortunate that these Dragoons were deciding to stand in the lurker field. But now we do have the observer coming up. Given that vision. And yeah, just the lurkers alone are not quite able to do it here. Gonna be cleaned up. Behind this, I'm looking at the army for Morik here, and there's really not much of anything. Going back to the Mutalisks, rather, having to replace the Mutaball that was cleared up by that Archon. That bottom left base, not quite built up yet, so... Oh, we do have a Queen here. Perhaps trying to see if it can catch... And there's a Spawn Broodling on the High Templar. So that's what that Queen is for. Going ahead and making sure that the Zerg did not take this top right again, and it is still clear. Here we have the Mutalisk, nice size, I think that's 11. Yeah, that is 11. So 11 Mutalisks here, but no detection to pick off these observers. The observers see it coming, but there's not a lot of Dragoons here. Gonna lose some Mutalisks, but I think some of those Dragoons are pretty damaged, trying to pick off these Zealots and get some shots off on them while they can. It's dealing as much damage as it can to the Protoss army, but yeah, gonna go ahead and clean up these Dragoons here. Does lose a few Mutalisks, but not too many. I think it was just 2 that got lost there, but we also have this contingent over here of Zealots. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do, because there's not a lot at the Zerg base. Granted, the Zerg is gonna have a macro round pop out here pretty soon. Protoss army looks like trying to regather here. Sending some of those reinforcements up and to the right. Also, okay, now this contingent over here on the left checking to see if perhaps this base has been taken by the Zerg, and it has not. So, good job of Shimmer here, just checking it, having that map presence and awareness, making sure that they are indeed keeping the Zerg on the 2 bases instead of letting them get up to 3. And then... that might have been a bit of a misclick here with the observers moving over the water and then the army just kind of grouping up here. Nice storm. Oh, another nice storm doing heavy damage to those Mutalisks. They are not going to last long after that. Well, they lost 1 more, but yeah, they're very, very low health now. They're going to need some time to recover before they can really be useful. But fresh pack of Mutas is ready to take their place for now. Only flying in with the 4 Mutalisks, though. Going to be able to do a whole lot with those. Queen does have the energy for another Spawn Broodling, so could take out another Templar. It's like we're trying to get the fresh Mutalisks together to go ahead. Oh, and this poor Templar here all by himself. Left out of the party, gets picked off. And then the Queen gonna... Oh, just barely lives with the Mutalisk flying in. A nice fresh batch of lurkers are going to drop down here. There's no storm for the Protoss, though, so going to be forced to pull back, as these lurkers can seriously chew on some Zealots. Even with the Observer, unless you can get a good, like, surround on all of them, so that way they don't get as many don't get hits on as many Zealots as you'd like. Now engaging again because there's not a lot of Dragoons here. Some of the Zealots wandering dangerously close to the lurker field. There are a couple of more Dragoons coming in here. There's the probe transfer now down to the 3rd. Really just all kinds of free hits here. Deciding to move in with the Zealots. And then pulling back when they see how many are there. I mean, maybe could have cleaned up 1 or 2, but... And then, it's like chat wondering, how does Zerg still have minerals at 21 minutes into in the main? Just look at the worker count here. Only 24 drones for Morik spread across 2 bases currently, so not a lot of workers mining those minerals. We got the drone coming out here from the natural to that top right base. Looks like Morik is going to try and take that double gas again. Like that. You could probably pull some of these zealots out of here. Maybe just leave like 1 or 2 to just keep an eye on that. Because that's a lot of supply just chilling over there. Not really doing much. Where is this probe going, I wonder? So the hatchery is started up at that top right. Upgrades coming down now. We got Zergling Speed and Carapace upgrade. Oh, okay. Just coming down to the 3rd. I thought maybe I was going to be like, maybe they were going to take this base and that's why they have all the zealots there or something, but nah. Pretty decent Mutalisk cloud here, looking like 12 Mutalisks. It's a nice little control group. No stacking really going on though. Finding this, well, if they do target down the Templar before any storm action can happen, but there is an Archon. Backing off before that Archon can get any hits. So keeping those Mutalisks alive. Nice play there. Pulling back just in time. We had the 8 kill, I think it was Archon before that cleared out a whole pack of mutas on its own. Now Morik's scouting over here to left, gonna find this group of zealots. Clean them up. That's a lot of zealots to lose that were just sitting there as opposed to just losing 1 or 2. Unfortunate for Shimmer there. Gonna go ahead and try and pull them back, but 2 of them might get away here. Yep, and 2 of them do. Morik really fighting to try and stay alive and bring this to a game 3. Nice little observer out here that's just been observing. Sees the one lurker. Let's just check on the tech back home here. So we've got a hive. We haven't got any hive tech, I don't think, yet this game. No Ultralisk Cavern, no Defiler, no Greater Spire. Protoss back home. Good number of gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gates, it looks like. The main and the natural are mined out. There is a little Zergling raid here happening down at the bottom left. Oh, actually 8, 9. 9 gates. There are 2 over here. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild those cannons. So I'm a little bit worried for Shimmer here. Shimmer really needs to take another base. Just having the 1 mining base could get them in some trouble, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and move out. I think they may have discovered this top right base. Or just suspecting because they did take the army up there blindly earlier, so they might just be moving with the army here. Couple of Mutalisks do catch that this attack is coming, but the main Mutalisk cloud is out here in the bottom left. If they can clean up this base, that would leave Shimmer with nothing to mine. But this double gas is also going to fall here with the huge Protoss army there. So let's see what these Mutalisks can do. Being forced back, though, there are the 2 Archons that would very quickly clean up this Mutalisk cloud. So unfortunate for Morik having to sacrifice this base. Trying to do something at the bottom left base, but not quite able to do it. Morik really with a lot of minerals and gas here. Could be flooding like some cracklings or something. We are getting the cracklings now. We do have the Defiler mound coming down now. So getting that tier 3 tech up. Oh, and there's... Oh, gotta be so careful. There's a couple of Archons here. There we go. I was talking about getting those cracklings going. We've got a large amount of Zerglings here now. With the lurker support, if this army doesn't run down to the bottom... Oh no, they unburrow. Are they going to get caught unburrowed here? They need to get down in the ground. They do just in time, and a couple of zealots and looks like maybe some reinforcements from that bottom left base getting caught here, trying to meet up with the army. Mork trying to do something with these lurkers here. Gonna run into the Protoss army here, going to go ahead and push into this. Where's the observer? Is it even... Where's the observer? Oh no! It was out of position. It was like down here somewhere, so Shimmer taking a lot of damage there from those lurkers, but still having a decent army ball here. More Zerglings trying to come up, but now there's some Zealots pulling the Mutalisks out of the engage. And now that the Observer on top, trying to pull the lurkers back. Does manage to get them back here to the natural choke. Gonna go ahead and burrow them so they can fight with the Mutalisks, but... Okay, the Archons get cleaned up pretty quickly there by the lurkers. I was about to say, but there's the Archons. The Mutalisks could fall, but instead, the Mutalisks, or actually it was the lurkers, I think, were able to clean up the fight there pretty quick, or the Archons pretty quickly there. And now the Protoss army being forced to retreat yet again, still just on the one mining base here. Let's take a look if we can hide the minimap for a moment here. The minerals are not looking so good. Starting to get a little bit low. Will Shimmer be able to break the Zerg base here before running out? But really, like, the Shimmer has the Shimmer has the force to be able to take more bases. They just have not taken anymore. So, like, the Zerg, it doesn't seem like they have much that could actually contest Shimmer taking a base. Like, there's... they might be thinking of taking this mineral only down here now. Oops. Wanted the unit display there. There is the probe there. We're just waiting for the 400 minerals, I think. And then, yeah, there goes the Nexus that we need. Everybody know that's a pylon. Didn't even throw down the Nexus. Throw down the pylon first. Being safe in case this gets attacked before it's able to get up and online. Yeah, Shimmer's army production gonna be a little bit slow right now. Just being on the one base, not gonna be able to utilize all of the gateways, but still producing out of a good number of them. 7 zealots currently being warped in here. Yep. And does find that Morik is trying to take this base as a third at the same time, trying to take the top right. So even if this base doesn't make it, it's kind of acting as a distraction, but the zealots getting way ahead of the army, no support. Mutalisk's going to be able to get some free shots off as the Dragoons kind of conga line in. Oh, but there's the Archons doing some heavy damage on those Mutalisks. Now they're going to go ahead and have to back off. Oh, some night. Oh, no. The Mutalisk cloud completely cleaned up. 9 kills for that Archon, 2 for that one. Oh, you don't want to see that as the Zerg player. Storm going down here on these Zerglings. Go ahead and morph, having spent their energy. A couple of drones that were in mid-transfer trying to take out that Archon before it could finish. But really, these 2 Archons did the job that they needed to do in cleaning up that that Mutalisk ball there. We do have some more Mutas, though. Morik does have the resources to replace them. But still, that's one of the scary things, I think, as a Zerg player. When you're trying to control those Mutalisks, it's just you take your eyes off for 2 seconds near some Archons, and your entire Mutalisk cloud is just gone. And unfortunately, these units being caught without an observer nearby, so gonna be forced to pull back. Thankfully for the Shimmer, they saw that pretty quickly. Morik trying to be aggressive here, recognizing that there's no observer right now. Storms could still go down. They do hurt undetected burrowed units, but gonna go ahead and just retreat back to the safety of this bottom left here. Morik. Oh, the top right double gas being found by not being found by Shimmer, instead pulling away. Oh, Morik might still be in this game. Have the natural is mined out, the main running really low on resources, and then this top right here. Okay, it does get found now by Shimmer. If Morik was able to sneak this in and that army from Shimmer ran away, that would have been amazing for Morik there, but Shimmer able to find it and clean it up. Morik recognizing that they need another base, trying to take that, and I'm surprised at this point that they have not tried to take this mineral only. I mean, I understand as Zerg, you're gas hungry. You want bases with gas. But like you just need a base at this point. You need minerals too. You're gonna be mineral hungry here pretty soon with only about 1,000 in the bank and your main is drying up. Engaging with the Protoss army. I don't know if Morik can recover from this. They lose this army. Yeah, and with that, Shimmer is gonna clean that up. There are a few Zerglings over here. It looks like Morik was trying to check if maybe that mid-right was being taken, and then Shimmer just double-checking, making sure that bottom right was indeed cleaned up. Slurker's catching the army again without an observer in place. Gonna get a lot of free shots here. It's Archon stopping just in range, living with 8 life. And now the observer comes down. Protoss army is gonna go ahead and clean this up. Not a lot of... I was about to say, the Protoss minerals are really low for having taken that mineral only. Look at all these probes here. The bottom left. Just not transferred over to that mineral only. So hopefully for Shimmer, they'll be able to clean that up and get those moved over. There is another push here from the Zerg, but doesn't have the resources. Ooh, just barely going to have resources to get a hatchery. The Zerg cannot afford to make any more units right now. Really needs... I'm not sure what they're doing with these Zerglings. I feel like they need to keep these Zerglings for defense and not use them offensively right now because you have like no money to replace anything. You need to get a hatchery down somewhere. Oh, and now the Mutalisk's bunched up against the Archon here. 6 kills for it. These Archons have been doing work for Shimmer. Now at this point, as the Zerg, like you've got barely any army, just a few, handful of Zerglings, 3 Mutalisks, and a handful of Zerglings here. 350 minerals in the bank. And with that, they're going to go ahead and GG out, and Shimmer will take the match 2-0, putting Fear Factory up 4-0 so far in this Tier 3 matchup. Let's go ahead and get the next matchup loaded. It will be Will versus Zogern, which will also be a ZVP. Whoop. No, I don't want to click on ladder right now. So I do see some chat going on about CPL, so just a quick little blurb about CPL. So it is the Coach-Pupil League. It is a league for players that are not the strongest at the game, so that way we can all play and get stronger together. Wait, get better, stronger together. Don't know how I was trying to word that. Kind of came out as word salad, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. We do have a Discord. I don't have a command or the link for the Discord just yet. I should get that set up, but what I can do, let me grab it real quick. If you want to join the server, we are in the regular season right now of Season 7, so you won't be able to get on a team immediately, but if you want to get on the wait list, you can go ahead and sign up on that, and then if anybody has to leave the league for any reason, people from the wait list will be used to backfill those positions, essentially. But, you know, it's a great league. We have 7 teams this league, or 7 teams this season. Last season there were 6 from my understanding. This is my first season in the league. But basically you get on a team, you'll be placed in a tier that should have players similarly skilled to you. From my experience, there is a bit of a wide range of skill within the lowest tier, which is tier 3. So there are 4 tiers. There's tier 3 is the lowest, and then tier 0 is the highest. But each team has a set of coaches for each of the races. So that way you'll have at least one player that is not participating in any games that is a very high level player that will be available to look over replays that you send them, offer advice based on those, give coaching sessions where they will show you different things, show you their own replays, etc. It's a great league if you have any interest in just getting better at playing StarCraft. And really, you will get what you put into it. So even if you don't have a whole lot of time to necessarily, play every single day or anything like that, like for me personally, one of the reasons why I joined the league is to just get over the fear of playing a game, because ladder can be pretty intimidating. You have no idea what you're going to come up against. It could be a player that's way better than you, could be a player that's way worse than you. And just having that commitment of okay, I have to play at least one game for the weeks that I sign up. That just makes it in my head that it's okay, I gotta play. Just makes it a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and hop into the first game here of Will versus Zoggern. It will be on Fighting Spirit, the first map for this week. And this... Oh, I so confused myself with the colors here. Wow. Because I hit shift tab, I saw red, blue, I hit shift tab, and then the colors were almost identical when I did that. We're going to shift tab again. Thank you for playing this on top versus bottom with those close colors. We've got D-Will spotting as the Zerg up at the top right. We've got Zoggern spawning as the blue Protoss up at the top left. Again, this is Fighting Spirit, a map that we're probably all familiar with. Been around for a really long time. Kind of like the replacement for Lost Temple, I would say. At least in my eyes. So got a question from the chat. How is the BW API bot coming along? Recognize my name from SSC AIT a few years ago. So SSC AIT is the Student StarCraft AI tournament, which does run a 24/7 ladder throughout the year, and then a yearly tournament where it's AIs playing StarCraft against each other, typically in a one-on-one format. So I did develop a bot that plays Terran and Protoss for it. I have not put a whole lot of work in it. You can play against it using the Schnail client, which is the StarCraft Human and AI League, which I don't think I have a link for either in my Twitch chat, which now that I'm doing more StarCraft and some StarCraft casting, I probably should get these links up on my Twitch page. So I'll try and get those either as a command or down in the About section at some point before my next cast. But it is available to play on Schnail. You can... I actually did recently update it because it was crashing on Schnail because it was on an older version of the API, so I just updated it to the newest one, tweaked the behavior a tiny bit, but I haven't really done a whole lot with that bot lately. So here it looks like we are getting a Gateway first expansion here. Most likely from Zoggern. So we saw earlier in the last set of matches that Forge first style, and now we're seeing the Gateway first style coming from Zoggern. D-Will going ahead and sending out that drone scout, going cross map it looks like with it, which will be unfortunate for Zoggern because that's not where their opponent is. Or sorry, for D-Will. I'm just going to go ahead and call D-Will Will, since that's how they're listed on CPL. The Overlord just poking into the main, just making sure it's not a one-base Protoss. Probe coming out from here, saw that the Zerg is not down there, and so will get the last scout. And it looks like Zoggern will also get a last scout here. As Zoggern, I think, actually did a cross scout as well. Looks like we are getting 3 hatchery, 3 base play here from Will? First couple of Zerglings are out. The probe's gonna squeak by, though. Gonna get into the Zerg base and see what they're up to. Happy to just park here. I think they can see... Yeah, so they can't... I don't think they can... Yeah, they can't see the gas, but they can see the spawning pool there. First couple of Zerglings are out, poking at the forge shields there, but not going to be able to do much, so it's able to quickly convince them to go home. So far, looking like pretty standard game here. Nobody doing anything too crazy. This little Overlord Scout into the main. The Cybernetics core about halfway done. So the Flying Shrimp has a little bit more time to live. And it looks like the chat is getting a little bit of the caster's curse themselves. This isn't standard. Got a natural fake going on, they say. What is this? We do have the Nexus going down at the natural for Zoggern. Now we've got the SimCity starting here at the natural, getting the hatchery here. One of the things that I think, maybe it doesn't play out too much in this, but it is unfortunate that the larvae are going to be down at the bottom here of the hatchery, I believe. Which means that any units produced out of it, if the Protoss is to get any type of contain, are going to be at risk of getting hit instead of being able to hide safely behind the buildings in that sort of scenario. I think the Protoss cleared their own cannon. Because the cannon is suddenly gone. Yeah, you can larva trick them, so that way the larva will go up to that top left. But you're going to have to do that with every larva. They don't start spawning there. And you're going to have to wait for the larva to move over there before you morph it while things are hammering away at your hatchery. So... it's a workaround, yeah, but it's unfortunate that you have to do that when you're at this top spawn. We are seeing something that we did not see in the last matchup. We are seeing the Corsairs. The Lings did see that this is coming, so we do have the Spire almost done. We do have a couple of Hydralisks coming up as well to help protect against this Corsair, so I think the Scourge will be in time, though. Maybe. I'm trying to keep an eye on... Spires. The Corsair is out, and it is idling in the base. Now, here we go. It is on the way. Still being very cautious with it. And the Scourge are under construction there, so that little pause given some extra time. Just moving out a little bit, though, so maybe not looking to be too aggressive with the single Corsair at the moment, or maybe was just trying to hunt for a couple of Overlords that are here near the base, but just happening to be in the middle, unfortunately for it. And it is going to go down instead of straight too, so still the... Whoops. Oh, this one, though, does fly right by the Overlord, so that Overlord is seen. And then the Scourge going to come out here, try and catch one of these Corsairs. They do manage to do so, so very nice for the Zerg there, but the second Corsair going to be able to put some damage on this Overlord. It looks like Will only got the one set of Scourge. So this Corsair going to have a little bit of free reign, going to be able to clean up this Overlord. And Will's not going to get supply blocked by that. So, well, should be okay with that loss, but going to be supply blocked if the second one gets caught. Meanwhile, we do have Hydralisks coming over here, gathering in the middle of the map. So it looks like we might get some Hydra shots here on the front of this wall. Really, we're getting a lot of Hydralisks, not 5 Hydralisks. We've got 5 hatcheries. This might be a 5 hatch lurker bust. Or sorry, not lurker, Hydra bust. But range not quite finished, so the Hydralisk's coming into range of that photon cannon while firing at the forge. Gonna have to back off and wait for range to finish before we can go ahead and get the free shots off on that. There is a High Templar out, but Storm is not ready just yet. So there's this thin window forming for Will. It's slowly closing. That range is done. There's a decent number of Hydralisks here, but the army is just rallying to this point and not being joined up, so that window is quickly closing where Storm's going to be available to the Protoss. Now the army is forming up here. Will sees that there might be a third happening here. Going to go ahead and move up with the Hydralisk. Some of them getting caught from that bottom left, but it doesn't matter. There's enough coming from the natural. Gonna force the cancel of the third base from Zogern, so Will now has this nice choke here. Zogern really needs to pull back. Trying to sneak that third and just not able to defend it. Will able to deny it. So nice play there by Will. Did lose the Overlord, but was well worth it. A little bit supply locked at the moment, 84 of 85. Needs to pull those Hydralisk back. Oh, and a nice storm there from Zogern. Gets a good number. The Hydralisk just running in here. There's so many of them. Another nice storm. Oh, doing a lot of damage there. But I think only 2 or 3 Hydralisks went down. There might be too much here. The cannons are gone. There's just no army here for Zogern. I think he's going to... No? I was thinking maybe he might be able to repel this, but there's no... Storm's not going to be ready for a little bit. Gonna have one pretty soon with this one, but there's no army right now. Only one Zealot producing. I think we've seen a bust here. Will getting another win maybe for Fear Factory here. The natural being forced to be abandoned. There are 3 Zealots under construction, but this is not looking good for Zogern right now. There is a 4th base coming up online for the Zerg down at the bottom right. This natural is gonna fall. This probe just witnessing the horror. It's frozen in fear. Seeing its base get destroyed. A couple of Zealots running down here now, but really not gonna be able to do much, and they're just kind of cornering themselves here. It did wait to gather for there to be 5 total with a couple of Templar that do have storm energy, but they both casted their storms on the same spot, and with that, Zogern gives the GG. Will going up 1-0. Will we see a clean sweep from Fear Factory? Let's go ahead and get into our next game. And being game number 2, we find ourselves on Polaris Rhapsody, with Zogern spawning as the blue Protoss up at the top left, and Will spawning as the red Zerg down at the bottom right. Nice little in-game good luck, have fun from the players. Let's see if if the players stick with the same tactics that they used last game.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Or if they go ahead and switch up tactics. Zoe, thank you for the follow. Very much appreciated. Do have the probe coming down here, going ahead and getting a pylon, and then so something I can't remember. I think I've seen it maybe in a CPL cast. Maybe it was in something Artosis casted. I can't remember. But a little trick that you can do when you build this pylon, if you send your probe up to gather minerals from the natural, they should gather the minerals, return them, and then come back in time for this next building. Now, maybe that only works on certain maps. Might not work here. But it's like a neat little thing that you can do sometimes. So Zogern going ahead and throwing down the gateway here. And gonna go ahead and scout with the probe. Gonna say hi to the frying shrimp? I hope that shrimp's not frying. Instead it is flying up in the air there. Zerg, meanwhile, the spawning pool is finishing, so probably was a 9 pool or an over pool. Not sure exactly which it was. Doing a little bit of damage there to the hatchery. And then the egg disrupts it a little bit of silliness there. But drone's gonna probably get in here. Oh, nope, decides to back out, doesn't want to lose the drone. Drone has done its job, it's confirmed, okay. Protoss is building at their natural choke here, so everything's looking like last game. Gonna go ahead and head home. Protoss has got its gas, but seems a little early to get the gas, I would think. There's no cybernetics core. You haven't taken your natural yet. The forge isn't done. I guess with the one mining probe, you will be able to get your +1 upgrade by the time the forge finishes. So maybe that's what Zogern is going for here. Or actually, I guess it finishes a little bit before. You're at 80 gas here with just the one gatherer. So going ahead, taking some shots here at the forge, forcing those zealots to have to move forward a little bit to scare off the zerglings. Could maybe get a few more shots now if they wanted to, but not spending the APM on that. Going ahead and also getting a third hatchery at the mineral only here. It's one zealot kind of wandering off, maybe wandered off with a move order. Being forced to fight and clean that up. And yeah, I'm not sure about the Zerg, or the Ling tightness of this up here. This is should be Ling tight from what chat was saying earlier, where Forge on the bottom of Gateway is Ling tight. But I don't know about this spot. You have the cybernetics core coming down now for Zogern. Still no natural nexus. Start going ahead and getting their lair here. No den yet. So I wonder if instead of Hydralisk play, if we will see Mutalisk play this game. I think we saw something actually it's interesting. So we saw in the last match, Morik from Attitude Plus did sort of the same thing. They went for Hydralisk play on Fighting Spirit, and then Mutalisk play on Polaris Rhapsody. Meanwhile, we're now seeing the Zerg from Fear Factory doing the same thing, where they went for like Hydralisk play on Fighting Spirit, and then here it looks like we're going for maybe Mutalisk play, or not. We're getting Zergling speed, we're getting another hatchery, there is no Spire. We're droning up still. Getting a lot of drones here. But I'm not sure which direction Will is going to take their army.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Hey there, Arto Sass. Thank you for the follow. Very much appreciated. So then Overlord up to that top right double gas. Just act as a forward scout. Now that we do have Dragoons out, they're going to go ahead and take care of this little Overlord here. The Overlord is going to see the robotics bay before it gets taken out, so... And the Stargate, and the Observatory, and the Citadel of Atunes. So Zogern just throwing down every tech building that they can currently build in full view of the Overlord. So Will knows exactly what is coming. A little bit supply blocked at the moment with that loss. It looks like we are getting the Spire now, so... We're also... Oh, we did get a den up at the front. I missed that. But we are getting Hydralisk speed, so it looks like we're going to do probably a mixed army of Mutalisk and Hydralisk here. Goon range is being researched. And I like this this map coverage here with the vision. You've got the Zerglings on the ramp, or not the ramp, the bridge here. You've got the Overlord over here to the left. It's a little bit out of lane maybe. Would like to see some sort of vision here in case the Protoss decides to move across this way. And this Overlord chilling over here, maybe going over to this mineral only so it can keep eye on it, but it can also keep an eye on if any army comes up this way. So this Overlord over here, I'm guessing is being positioned because the robotics support bay did come down, so there could be some potential shenanigans with shuttles and reavers. And if they're going to try and take the path of the edge of the map, then you're going to see that coming out. Also getting Burrow, which could be used if a reaver drop were to happen. Yep, and here come a couple of Scourge too, so yeah, just getting prepared. Scourge with those weird looking mouths on the end. Oops, zoomed out a bit too much there. So yeah, it looks like this positioning is more in line with just trying to keep an eye on any air coming out of the Protoss base. The Scourge going in for the free scout. Seeing the Stargate sitting idle. Seeing nothing really threatening to them there. Gonna go ahead and just kind of sit here over the cliff. Not even watching the probes do their work, just like the back turned. Oh, F6 is a shortcut to... Ah, okay, cool, thank you. I do like to have it a little bit zoomed out, but not too much more zoomed out than normal. That is good to know. I will have to take note of that. Now, we do have some Mutalisks here. Maybe going to try and pick off some probes here. The worker count is not that great for Zogern. Zogern is trying to take a third. Oh, but these Mutalisks here, unfortunately, pathing a little bit above the Dragoons, but getting some nice not Mutalisks, but probe kills here with the Mutalisks. No pull of the probes to the natural from Zogern. Every probe almost, except for 3 that were in the main gone. Zogern down to 14 workers. This is not going to go well for Zogern at this point here with the more Mutalisks joining in, and Zogern is going to go ahead, tap out, give the GG, and with that, we have a clean sweep from Fear Factory in the Tier 3, making it 5-0 for them. So that is all the games that we have today between these two teams, Fear Factory and Attitude Plus with the Tier 3. Unfortunately, as I said at the start of the cast, there was one walkover in favor of Fear Factory. So we don't have a 5th game to go over today, but it's been a lot of fun casting this, and I'm looking forward to casting a lot more. Being able to, help out the league in that way, and also just being able to provide that entertainment for y'all. Really like it, and I appreciate the support and the follows from today. Let's see who is around that we can raid. And while I'm looking that up, I do want to just again say real briefly here, if you want to join the league, we are in the middle of regular season, so you won't be able to get on a team immediately, but you can get on the wait list. And then there's always going to be season 8, most likely, I think, where you'd be able to join up too. So let's see, who is doing StarCraft
friend.
right now?
Stay a while and listen.
Oh, who was that with the follow? Fuzzy Branch, thank you for the follow. Very much appreciate that. Let's see. Almost nobody that I follow is currently playing StarCraft, so we're gonna dive into the StarCraft category here. Let's see who's live. Let's see. Looking for someone with not a lot of viewers, too. Oh, you know what? We got a player here. Looks like they are doing the Zerg campaign currently. We can go ahead and send them a raid. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's definitely been a blast. Hope you all have a great night and a great weekend. Until next time, take care, everyone.